Alright, so as I was mentioning, I was leaving Curitiba and there was like a dead body and I was like, oh my god, Brazil has so many traffic accidents. So yeah, and I was moving inward towards to go to Foz do Iguazu, which is like the giant waterfalls in Argentina and Brazil and Uruguay? No, Paraguay, Brazil, Argentina. It's like a triple border. So I was headed. But the first city en route was Guarapuava. And the drive this time, it wasn't like super rainy because sort of the pattern up till now had been like beautiful sunny morning, crazy thunderstorms in the afternoon, adding to my like schizophrenia. Is it summer? Is it not summer? But anyway, the drive to Guarapuava was better. Not beautiful sun, but a mix of cloud and sun. And one of the things was there, they have these really, really long rolling landscapes. So you have these like hills that take you way up top, and from there you look down, there's like these massive fields of green, just like huge, huge fields, like sort of maintained, I guess, farmers' fields, not just nature. But it was like super impressive. I don't really have something that can fully show it in video, so I'm like driving with my camera through my sunroof in my hand and like at the same time, so couldn't really film it perfectly, but it was pretty impressive. So I get to Guarapuava, and it's like rainy when I get there, but anyway, I just sort of decide like, alright, let's hit the main strip and let's head into town. And one of the things that I saw in Guarapuava on the way into town, because the hotel wasn't outside of town, but it wasn't in the center, was people running and jogging a lot. And that was something I started to see in Brazil around this point, but throughout Brazil I saw this, like very active sort of at the end of the workday, like running and jogging. And in Argentina, maybe it was like people would more do that in the parks, but in cities the size of Guarapuava or other places, they just do it like along the main road. So that was sort of interesting. And then another form of exercise, obviously, within Brazil that's huge is jiu-jitsu. So I saw like a jiu-jitsu gym or something like that. And then kept wandering around Guarapuava and down to this like old cemetery area. Nothing as crazy as the cemeteries in Argentina, but still that sort of like house cemetery type thing. And went to a square with this sort of like interesting architecture in this church. This building beside it was sort of weird. And also there was this section with like a pond in the middle of the town where you could look down from above, but my picture doesn't really show it clearly because it was getting dark by that point. So then I went to the square to get some food, and I was like, oh yeah, those pastels that I ate in Pelotas were excellent, like those fried empanada things. So I'll just get some of those. So I got like 3 of them for like almost nothing, like so cheap. And I was like, these are massive, this can fill me up great. I started eating them, and by the end of the second one I was like, I feel so sick. Like, I never stopped, I never gave up on eating food, but I was like, there's no way I can eat this third one. So I just like left it there in case someone hungry needed it or whatever, right? But yeah, by the time I got back to the hotel, I was like, oh, stomach destruction. So like no more pastels for me in Brazil. I was like, if it's fried, like all crusty fried like that, I'm not eating it. I'll eat other things. So I get back to the hotel, no big deal. The next morning, it was a little bit sunnier. You can see like sort of the ghetto region of the hotel right there, but then with like the big sort of skyscrapers in the distance. They're not massive, it's not a big city, but some view from the hotel, rough little area on the outside of town, or kind of like one end of it. And then the next day was to head to Foz do Iguazu, and yeah, like it was like so gorgeous on the drive to Foz, and you can like see like these green fields right here, like beside things, like jolly green giant type fields, like awesome, so cool. But by the time I got to Foz do Iguazu, the city, it was like downpour of the century. Like I've got a video from inside my hotel room. You can see how hard that rain's coming down. I don't think I'd ever been in rain that hard in my life. And I don't think I'd ever been in that much humidity in my life. It was insane. Like fortunately my room, though it was cheap in the hotel, had like this crazy powerful fan, so that was good. So once the rain settled down, I decided to go out and explore Foz a little bit. And I kind of liked it. It had a little bit of a touristy sleazeball Vegas vibe to it because it's a major tourist destination, and always triple borders, like, or border areas usually have some kind of like vibe that's sort of like a little sleazy. I don't know anyway, it's just the way it is near borders in these Latin countries. When there's a city that's shared across 2 borders, or cities on either side of the border, it's a bit of a different vibe. But I liked it, and maybe it was just because the sunset was so gorgeous. There was like this park that was like sort of lit up in this Christmas theme or something. It was just absolutely gorgeous. And I could see Paraguay across the river, because it's a triple border, Paraguay, Argentina, Brazil. I'd never been to Paraguay. And so I thought, well, I'll go see Foz do Iguazu tomorrow, but then if I have time in the afternoon, I'll try to get over to Paraguay and see what that's all about. There's a city there, Ciudad del Este, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. Also, the other theme that night was churches. So, like, in Brazil, man, they're like hardcore, like, Christian movement right now, like singing and being almost evangelical about it. And I was like, what is it? It felt very much like the USA. So not only does Brazil not reject the USA the way Argentina does, it also has some of the same characteristics in terms of like religious intensity and like being really passionate about religion, almost like the American South or something like that. It's crazy. It was a big surprise for me because that doesn't exist in Argentina at all. It's just like Catholic there. not with this like sort of like singing and just really expressive style that Brazil has. That was weird. Anyway, so back to the hotel. The next day, fortunately, it was gorgeous. I was like, yes, this is gonna rule it, the waterfalls. So I drive there, and I get there, and it's like total Disneyland. Like you have to pay quite a bit to go in, and I don't like paying for stuff. I don't like touristy things, but I sort of was told you cannot miss Foz do Iguazu. So I get in line, and it's like literally like Disneyland. I was like, fuck, why did I even do this? But when I got on the bus and we got to the falls, my mind was like blown like when I saw the Grand Canyon, but with more going on. And literally, I was just like laughing, like I almost could like not stop laughing the whole time. It was like a ridiculous level of joy to be there. Like, I know this sounds ridiculous and hippie and like Bruno, you're insane, but like it was. If you get a chance to go to Foz do Iguazu and the weather's good, do it. And so there's like the main view where you can see all the different falls, but you can actually get close to the falls in this little walkway, and there's all these people and stuff that you can like sort of walk along. It's so misty, like people are wearing plastic to keep the water off. So it's so humid, so hot, so sunny, so misty, so many people, and like I definitely wasn't like sexually aroused, but it was like literally like the like most like primal human like state ever. Just like you can't keep the water off you. It's so hot. You're sweating. It's just like so many, anyway, it was amazing, that section. And then there's another section where you could actually get closer to the falls and just see the immense power of the falls. So I have a video of that there. Just crazy, crazy powerful, those falls. So anyway, so I managed to get out of there in time to try to take a city bus to go to Paraguay. I didn't want to take my car to Paraguay, but I thought if I take my car to Brazil, I might have problems getting back in or something, right? So I took a city bus to Paraguay, to Ciudad del Este. It's right on the border there with Foz do Iguazu. And no passport, nothing, just got on the bus and went. And like, it was nothing. I mean, Ciudad del Este is kind of like this like no man's zone. I think there's actually a lot of sort of like Middle Eastern terrorism bases there and stuff like that, because you don't need a passport to get in and get out. And I think it's sort of a free-for-all in terms of a market, like all kinds of goods being exchanged. They don't have much control over there, but the city itself kind of felt just like, it's like, I don't know, the downtown felt almost kind of like this Asia, or stereotype of how it was like Asia, super busy, lots of electronics. I went a little further out on the bus and I had to walk back, but not much to say about Paraguay except for I got in and I got out without getting a stamp on my passport, and I was in Paraguay. So anyway, so then I hit the road and I head to Cascavel, and that was a city that I had passed to get to Foz do Iguazu, so it was close to it. And because I was leaving Foz do Iguazu late because of Paraguay and the falls and everything, I knew I had to choose a town fairly close to Foz do Iguazu. And even then I was still driving at night, or getting close to night to get there. You can see some gorgeous purple skies and like the landscape as I'm getting to Cascavel. So that was super cool. So I get to Cascavel and I just get to my hotel sort of on Main Strip. And I don't really worry about going out that night. I just go out to get some food and come back because I've had a very long day in Foz do Iguazu in Paraguay. But then the next day I go to like meet this girl at this park with a lake and everything like that. Gorgeous sunny day. That was pretty cool. And they have these weird like pig, like beaver type animals called capybaras. And like, I think the people there are like, no, they're chill, but they're big. They're like literally like, they're big freaking animals, and they were just chilling kind of in the mud underneath some trees. But I was like, I don't trust these guys, man. Like, but I don't think they ever attack humans. It was just like the size of them that was impressive. So anyway, get out of Cascavel and head to Maringa, which is the next city heading towards Sao Paulo. And rainy when I get there, and the hotel's kind of cool. It's got like a church inside it, and it's gated off. I don't know, sort of a special hotel, but it's still cheap, so it's great. There's a gecko in my room. Anyway, so I went out for a walk that night. It was a bit rainy and whatnot. Maringa had like a ton of parks, and I wanted to check those out, but it was too late to go into the parks by the time I was walking around that night. So came back to the hotel, and then the next day went down to like this massive conical church. Like, it's super cool. So I'll show you a picture of that. And then after that, went into the park, and there was like a Japanese garden in the park. And then there was also this, like, when I was leaving the park, there was these like two little girls like sort of stalking this giant peacock, and I was like, dude, like, this thing's gonna attack you, man, like, what the heck? But fortunately it didn't. But I don't trust animals, man. Big animals, I don't trust them, particularly birds. I'm not really down with birds, big birds. But anyway, so I get out of Maringa and I head to the next city, Ourinhos, which is actually, now we're moving out of Paraná state into the state of Sao Paulo. It's right on the border between the two states, but in the Sao Paulo state. And so I get to Ourinhos, and it's like a mix between like a small city and kind of a medium-sized city. My hotel's on the Main Strip, and there's like this cool church across the way. And I had time to get out for a walk before it got dark, so I'm like wandering around. There's like a skate park. You can see it's kind of like small city skate park vibe, not big city urban skate park vibe. And even more than that, like got to this place where you can see the city in the distance, but there's like in the neighborhood itself, like just an open field and a a horse like eating there in the field, like not tied up or anything. It was okay. What is this? This is interesting. So yeah, so Ourinhos was pretty cool. And then I like got back to my hotel. And actually, before I get back to the hotel, I got some food. And in the parking lot of the supermarket, I could hear this like really cool rap. Now, I like rap, and I like hardcore rap, and dirty rap, and just like primal rap. But I feel like Latin America, most of the rap that I've run into, it just doesn't have it. It's like a copycat of the American that's watered down. It doesn't have the real like grittiness to it. But in Brazil, man, this rap that I heard in the parking lot, had better rhythms than American rap. Like, it wasn't some crazy Brazilian rhythm, but it was like not your standard rap rhythm. Way cooler vocals, and just way darker and grimier. And I was like, I need to find out what that is. I totally should have gone up to the car of the teenagers and said, what is this? My Portuguese isn't very good. I'm not like a cool guy, but I should have got the name of what the artist was, because I like loved it. I still don't know what the hell it was. So anyway, so there was that. So I got back to the hotel, and then the next day heading off for Sao Paulo, the biggest city in Brazil, 25 million people.